welcome to Nattys Crafts. I thank you so much for stopping by today. Today we're going to do a Kirkland's dupe. So here's what we're making. Kirkland's is started at $49.99. Here's what you'll need. And we're going to start with this Dollar Tree flower. It was a welcome sign. So we're just going to take that apart. We're going to take the welcome hangy part off. This I struggled with for a minute, but I did get it off. And then we're just going to kind of fluff that flower up a bit. So pull up the tabs on the flower, because it's like 3 layers of tabs basically. And then I'm going to try to figure out how I'm going to put the wood pieces around my flower. Now here, this was another struggle for me. This took me quite a while to figure this out. But when I looked at my little paper that I had printed out as the inspiration, what it looked like, I figured out that I could just make 2 squares, and that also makes a star. So that's what I did. I just made 2 squares and made sure that the flower fit inside. And it ended up being that each side of the square was 9 inches long. And that's what fit around this flower. So once we've got that all figured out, then we're just going to make our marks of how we're going to cut. Because we don't want all those lines in there. We want it to look like a star, not like 2 squares. So we're just going to cut off all those extra pieces. And then I always use my garden shears from Dollar Tree. They work really well to cut these popsicle sticks. So that's what I'm doing here, just cutting those down. And I'm going to use Fix-All adhesive to glue them together. Now this stuff, you do need to let it set. It's best if you let it sit for, I believe it was 5 minutes. And it sticks really well if you do that. And once it's set for at least 5 minutes, then I do put them together. So each of the 2 pieces, I'm just making a corner, basically. So you see I'm just pressing it against the corner of my Dollar Tree square, I guess that's called. And so then once I have all of those, then we're good there. And then we're going to use the Dollar Tree floral wire in order to make the petals for the middle. Or I guess it's kind of the middle. It's the second middle of the piece. So here you want to make sure, so my flowers or my leaves were 6 inches, approximately 6 inches long, in order to fit into those 9-inch squares. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. And so what I did is I ended up making, I believe there were 8 petals. I made all 8, but then I went back because they were all weird sizes and different shapes and all. So I went back and I made a little, what do you call that? Stencil is what I'm thinking. That's not the right word. A little form so that I could just form my wire around that little cardboard piece and make them all at least similar. They're not going to all be the exact same because I'm not perfect, but I'm going to at least make them look similar. And the pointed tip is really what I was after here too. So that's, I spend a lot of time trying to get the form right, but then also that pointed tip. So we're going to do that to all 8 petals. And apparently I really want you to see how this is done, because now here's a close-up. So again, this is the last one it looks like. And so just forming the metal or the wire around that form and then making sure the tip is pointed. And then once that's done, then we're going to make sure that it fits in our little star shape that we made. And then the flower is going to end up going in the middle there. So what we're going to do for the flower is we'll turn everything upside down first, of course. And then, of course, the Dollar Tree flowers have that little gap in the middle. So we're going to put this foam mounting tape right in the middle where that little gap or that little indentation is to fill that up. And this is the sticky foam tape. It's not going to stick to this wire real well, but we'll use hot glue for that. So the main thing is just to get it in the middle there and get it so that it will stay. So once we've got the foam mounting tape in there, now we're going to hot glue the mess out of this back. And I literally mean hot glue the mess out of it. And once we've hot glued it, then I'm going to use a small piece of masking tape to just cover that up. I don't remember which creator uses this trick, but it works really well. So I started using this trick quite a while ago. That'll just help it stay even stronger. Then we're going to go outside and we're going to spray paint. Now I'm using black because everyone, if you've seen my videos, you know I love the whole black and white look. And then my wood part, while the metal is drying, we're going to paint the wood part. Now the wood part, I'm not staining it. I'm just going to put a light layer of silver, the metallic silver paint on there. I'm keeping it really light though because I do want to see the wood through it a little bit. So I'm keeping that coat fairly light. And then here's our flower. It's dry and it's all black. Front and back are all black. 2 to 3 coats is what you're going to need. But I'm going to go back in, since it is black, I want to give it some more color, some more dimension. So I'm going to go back and dry brush a little of that same silver metallic that I put on the wood. And this really makes it pop. It really looked good. And then for the little center of the flower, I am just going to go ahead and paint that as well, just to make it stand out a little bit. And so now it's kind of coming together. So now we're going to actually put it together using this thin wire that you can get from Dollar Tree. It comes in a pack of black and red. So I'm using the black to attach it. Just small strands. I don't know, they were maybe 4 or 5 inches long. And what I'm going to do is wrap it around the wire of the flower 2 to 3 times. And then I'm going to wrap that around the wood. Now the key here is that you don't want to see any of this wire. I don't want to see this poking out and sticking out and being loose, nothing like that. So make it really tight and be careful on how you put it on so it looks very similar to each petal. Now I put this wire on every petal. That's probably not necessary. You could probably just do 4 of the petals, just secure 4 of them. That would probably work just fine. So I'm just wrapping it around and then we'll twist it in the back. And when you first do it, I just left it where the wire was sticking out, which is fine. We'll go back and we'll fix that later. So we're going to do that again to however many petals you want to do. And there you can see where the wire is all sticking out. And we're just going to go back and we're just going to cut all those ends off. And when you cut them off, you want to, again, just make sure it will be neat when you lay it down. So we're just going to bend that wire over and make sure it's neat and that it's flat. You don't want it to stick out in any way. And then I decided in the front, I wanted to add this little pearl wrap. This is just a silver pearl wrap, again from Dollar Tree. And I just cut a small piece out and made it a circle just by cutting the corners off. And we're just going to go ahead and glue that, hot glue that in the middle of that flower. And of course, use your finger protectors for this because obviously it's hot. It is some sort of foil metal material. And then once you've got that, that's it. I mean, colors, of course, do the colors that you want to do. You know, don't just do black or, you know, do whatever colors work best for you. But here it is for me. I absolutely love this thing. I saw this at Kirkland's on their website months ago, and I saved the picture of it. And I've wanted to do it ever since, but just couldn't figure out how. And now I'm so happy I figured out how. All right, that's going to be the only project for today. I thank you so much for stopping by. And I really appreciate any of you who have taken the time to subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. I'm now over 100 subscribers, which seemed like it took forever. But gosh, I'm so happy that I'm here. I'm so happy that you subscribed. And I do appreciate also all the comments you all leave and the thumbs up that you give as well. I appreciate all of that. I thank you so much for stopping by today. Y'all have a good one.